Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talented Tuesday. We are thrilled this week to be joined by a very special guest, Grandmaster Danny Gormally. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Natasha. How's it going?
Good. And as ever, we have Grandmaster Matthew Sadler. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, everyone.
And we're going to look at the games. Now, Danny, I'm sure lots of our viewers will already know Danny. But for those that don't, he has been a mainstay of English chess over 2 decades. And his peak rating is a massive 2573. He plays a lot of tournament chess. He's won previously the Hastings Congress, and also he won the British Rapid Play Championship in 2024. So Danny has lots of titles, very talented player. And so we are delighted to have you, Danny. And as well as that, he is also a well-known chess author and writes really quite frank and very interesting books. He has his own style of writing. Should we start with that, Danny? What inspires your writing? How do you
well, somebody said to me the other day, you're like a chess Eeyore, like Eeyore from the Winnie the Pooh comics.
Yes.
Book, sorry. So yeah, I've got a kind of miserable, I need to be more positive, Natasha, because I tend to I've got this kind of weird mixture at the moment of overconfidence, but also underconfidence, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Because I've heard that it's that if you're confident, that kind of can help chess play. Like quite a lot of the chess players are extremely, I'd say, more overconfident than underconfident.
Yeah. I mean, I think really you could overrate confidence. A lot of it's about hard work. If you put the work in, that could sort of override a lot of stuff. But what I'm tending to do is, certainly classical chess, maybe at Blitz it's less relevant or rapid play, but certainly classical chess, I tend to have a lot of meltdowns where I get interesting positions or good positions, but then nerves takes over, and the whole process of calculation seems to go out the window, and I seem to collapse, and my opponents end up winning the game.
Well, don't forget, Danny, you beat a lot of your opponents, so it's. But have you found this calculation? Your calculations have changed over the years, or is this a new thing for you, or is this you've always had haven't had things like that in your games?
Yeah, I tend to find that I don't know whether it's an ego thing or my ego's getting triggered, but like I say, they had that game the other day at Hastings. You probably did the commentary on it, and in the last round, it was quite an interesting position.
Yeah,
and my opponent was short of time, and I had like 40 minutes plus increment, and I just started to play too quickly in quite a complex position because I probably categorized it as quite a simple position, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just like, big, good chess players, you guys will know, is like stayed in the process, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I have to say that, looking at the way that chess is played nowadays, comparing it to, certainly 20 years ago when I was professional, but also even just, 5-6 years when I last played, I find that, the standard of play has gone up enormously. I think it's really, I think, people are just so much, people, I think, in the old days, just when I was professional, I think, you played a move like G4, some strange move like that, and the players would tend to roll over somehow. But now, people are so used to so many ideas, also with engines and everything like that. You need to give them 4 or 5 shoves before they fall over, even, 2100 players or whatever. And I think, yeah, I mean, I really do notice every time I look at, at tournaments like this, and and you see the way that the games go. I really feel that standard of resistance is so much higher. It's a lot tougher than it used to be, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I mentioned to people, I played this Benidorm Open, so it's the first tournament I played in Spain. I think you'll look at that game, but I played against a lot of junior players, and I found with white you do have a chance to outplay them, but when you're black, my openings don't tend to be that great. I'll be honest. I probably need to do a bit more research on my openings, and I've been trying to do that a little bit, but it's a difficult process. But yeah, so when you're black against them and you're on the back foot, it's very hard to win the game, because also I think a lot of these younger players, they work very hard on their calculation. And because of that, they might not be that great in terms of understanding and so on. You could outplay them, but it's very hard. It's very rare that they make big mistakes, like you were saying. Like, very rare that they collapse. So yeah, it's a different challenge now, because essentially, as I mentioned many times on my YouTube channel, myself, my EOR YouTube channel, where I boasted about what it's like to be a professional chess player. You're basically faced with a situation where in order to prove. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. Anyway, let's look at the game.
Yeah. Let's look at the game.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us a bit about what game you've chosen and why you chose it.
Well, this was a game against a young Indian player called KP Pranav. There's quite a few Pranavs, I think, actually, in chess. There's Bali Pranav, is quite a well-known one, who does well in Title Tuesdays, and also is doing well in World Junior Championship. I think he won the World Junior Championship.
Okay, yeah. It's so Danny, you started off with whoops, I'll switch to the right screen there, with d4, knight f6, c4. Was there a particular reason why you went for the Catalan, or was it just that sort of feeling of playing somebody younger somehow?
No, Matthew. I mean, I'm never sure whether to go g3 or knight c3 in those positions, because obviously knight c3, then they go for the raggers in a lot.
Yeah,
bishop b4, right? It seems
really
to happen.
Really solid.
And obviously, because you guys wrote that book about Alpha Zero, it was Game Changer, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that was a great book. But yeah, that's obviously influenced a lot of people. So they go for this bishop b4, which is super solid. So I'm either going into that or I'm playing the Catalan.
Yeah.
Catalan, I think as you get older, your choices become a little bit more inhibited. You're like, I'm not going to go for open Sicilian because I'm too. Daniel Fernandez said to me, "You're probably too old to play the Sicilian now, right?"
Oh,
you've grown out of the Sicilian now.
I should be playing the Berlin defense or the Petrov. He's right though. He's right. I'm too old. I can't calculate anymore, so I just play all this. Get a position, Torre attack, like Mark Hebden always used to play the Torre attack. Now the London system.
Yeah. Now Mark's probably I think Mark probably has a good repertoire for longevity somehow. I mean, it's he's worked for so long at all his Torres and London-ish thingies and move orders and collets and everything. It's probably I think it was probably quite a bit ahead of his time, really, because I think everyone, when I was professional, we were all trying to play theory, and Mark was playing his little systems, trying to get small edges, and I think he was probably just incredibly modern and ahead of his time in terms of what people are trying to do with openings nowadays.
I just spoke to him recently because we shared a flat at the Northumbria Congress, Northumbria Masters. And I was asking him about that. So, how did you work on openings before? And he said he would spend hours and hours, like every single day. Not every day, but, when he was into it, he would spend hours trying to find an idea, try to look at an idea and try to, find an interesting idea in that position. And just, and I thought that was quite interesting, And this is like...
So he kind of made it up himself as opposed to learning lines that someone else had created.
Exactly. And obviously that worked out for him. But I played the Catalan, and we had this discussion, I think, when we went to Sitages. I think there's another opening named after the Catalan, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, he went knight c6. So that's the
knight
funky
c6. Yeah. My goodness, in the good old days, you would have said, "Oh well, it must be a weak player then playing playing knight c6."
We've
But
seen this though quite a lot recently, haven't we?
they do this system nowadays. Put the knight on c6, bishop on d6, and looking eventually for dc and e5, just keeping all the options open. So I think Stanley had a game with this recently. I think that's where we saw it and we commented on it.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to interrupt. But yeah, I played a tournament in Hungary. I think this is where I learned this line, because when you play a lot, because I've been playing quite a lot recently, your openings become updated as you go along, almost.
Yeah.
Because, so I actually looked at this line before I played this game for another game that I played in Hungary a few months ago. So
okay, yeah.
You
So you played b3, which looks nice, and then they play this, incredibly very sharp thing, really. Takes, and e5.
Yeah, I think you don't have to go e3 here. I think there are other moves, but e3's quite appeal to me because you just keep the center together.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I do like those two pawns. I mean, they can become a bit weak as well, but I mean, they've got so much potential to disrupt the black position. It feels like the best way to fight against what black's doing. It's
yeah, exactly. And the point is, I think if they go e4, then that pawn would probably become very weak, I guess.
Yeah, you get all the moves, don't you, to attack it? You've got quite a few to do that. You can maybe throw in c5 as well, just to disrupt black's pieces a bit more. It's
exactly.
Yeah, or maybe even I don't know, maybe even knight g5 and play a quick f3. I don't know. It's but e takes d4 is the sort of the sensible option, isn't it? It's not risking too much, and just and with knight c3, and he started very solid here. Played knight e4.
I think knight e4 was a mistake, actually.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do, Matthew, as well, was during this tournament, and also Sitages, although it didn't really work out for me, I was trying to analyze these games without an engine.
Okay.
And try to, because I think I became very lazy over the last few years. I would just, as soon as a game, which is typical with chess players now, as soon as the game finishes, you check it on your phone or on the computer with Lead Chess or whatever, chess.com, or on ChessBase. But I tried to, which is I thought a much more interesting process, and actually try to, figure out the best moves by myself.
Danny, is it right you've recently written a book on this topic?
No.
Chess Analysis Reloaded.
No. Oh, that one. I've written so many books now, I've lost track of. Yeah, probably. Yeah. That was published by Informat books. Yeah. So Informat, the magazine. They also published some chess books, and I think I did. Yeah, but it was a bit of a vague topic. I think the problem with a lot of my books, Natasha, is that they're not really very focused. Like, I think the one book that I did write, which was quite focused, which was Make the Castle King, because the template was already set out for me by Jacob Agard.
Right.
And therefore that was quite a successful book. I think a lot of the other books I write are a bit random. Let's get the publisher's advance in the pocket and then move on to the next project.
I have to say, I do like the slightly random books, to be honest, because I mean that's it's nice to hear people just talking about what they think about, like being a chess player, or what they were, all the things they got distracted about whilst calculating, or whatever. That sort of fits the real world experience. And I don't know. Although I have to say I liked your Make the Castle King an awful lot. I have to say, I thought that was a really good book.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I think it got translated to Chinese as well. So
oh, really?
Quite a lot of money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Curses, all these Chinese learning even better how to mate. No.
Yeah, sold a load of copies to like 14-year-old Chinese boys. So yeah, I'm set up for life now. I'm just being live from my mansion in LA.
So Danny, what does it cover actually? That book, is it checkmating patterns? Sounds very useful.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about doing like a sequel. Yeah, it was essentially basic mating patterns, and stuff like what's it called, Smothered May, and like the Greek gift sacrifice, and just giving sample games nothing groundbreaking, but I thought about doing maybe like some further books. I think because when you have a successful theme, you should probably try and build on it rather than branch it out. You know, when you have a book that's a success, rather than trying to branch out and doing something completely different, you should probably establish, you know. Also thought about doing a book on Leela attacking style, because one of the things I noticed,
Oh yeah,
obviously Matthew would be familiar with this, whenever I played Leela like peace odds.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Nightmare.
Its attacking style is ferocious, and I think you can learn a lot of attacking patterns just through looking at his play. You know, it's really quite remarkable. So,
I mean, the engine community would be absolutely thrilled if you did that, Danny. I mean, so I mean I know that's a big big motivation, but yeah, no, I mean, no, because I mean, I think you know, the developers as well. I mean, they're always really, because a lot of the developers aren't really chess players somehow. Yeah, they're always they're more you know, computer experts and you know, sort of not very strong chess players, enthusiasts but not very strong chess players. So they're always thrilled when what they create turns out to be, you know, really appealing as well, you know, aesthetically, and people like how their engine plays and all of that. Always gives them an awful lot of pleasure. So yeah,
absolutely,
I mean, I'd be delighted to hear that you know, that you've even thought about, you know, writing a book about it. It's really nice. But yeah, the style is incredible with the piece odds, rook odds. I mean, it just plays absolutely bananas.
Well, yeah, it's like it's almost like a different species, right?
They're claiming you have to be 2600 in order to break even against Leela Knight odds classical nowadays. That's the latest estimation. So yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But let's get back to the game. Knight e4, and you played knight d5, which is nice. Yeah, just sidestepping.
So one of the things I noticed, obviously with Indian players, when you analyse with them, so I did some post-mortems. There was there was a guy called Jeet Shah who was playing in this tournament. He was also playing Sunway Sitages, and he saw a lot of variations. I think I made some joke that he saw more variations than Garry Kasparov, and he was only rated about 2170. And I'm like, well, this is crazy, right? You know, but I think they work a lot on their calculation.
Yeah.
And so at this point in the game,
he's Ramesh, isn't it? Is that right? Who did the course on calculation for Chessable? Like really good course, but very hard.
That's right.
The book on calculation. I must admit, I didn't really like the book, to be honest, but I just found it. Yeah, I just like it says calculate all this. And I'm like, I can't be bothered. You know, throw it away. You know, it's too much like hard work. And then, but yeah, no, I'm sure they work a lot on their calculations. So at this point in the game, I'm thinking he's spending a lot of time. So I'm trying to figure out what he's thinking about. So I understand my threat is possibly to go knight h4, which he's worried about. So I figured he's probably thinking about going h6. So if I go knight h4, he goes bishop h7. So at this point in the game, after knight d5, sorry, after knight after knight e4, knight d5.
Yeah.
h6.
Yeah.
I calculate the line here.
Knight h4 and just swap off that bishop, is it, for the knight? And
well, I calculated a variation here, Natasha, which may have been rubbish, but after knight h4, bishop h7, without moving the pieces, right? Let's calculate the line, right? Because I know the people watching at home like, oh, you know, I want them to dumb it down, but I don't want you guys to dumb it down. Let's think about how I'm thinking, right? Okay, so my calculation was bishop takes h6, g takes h6. So bishop h6 looks like random move. G takes h6, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen g4 check, hit the bishop. So the only way to retain the bishop is to go bishop g6, because otherwise I'll just take the bishop. Knight takes g6, f takes g6, queen takes g6 check, king h8, queen takes h6 check, king g8, rook a e1, threatening.
You got at least a draw.
Yeah, but I go rook a e1 at the end, and if they go knight d4, you go queen g6, king h8, queen g4 check.
Oh, you pick up the knight. Yeah,
and then you go
pick up the
queen
knight.
g4 and queen takes d4, and you're winning because you've got too many pawns on the king side and their king's wide.
Can we show this line, because I think there will be
Yeah.
readers that didn't
Doink,
get on that.
doink. Whack.
Yeah, it's just like showing off that I could calculate long variations.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, but
Dunk.
it was quite a simple variation anyway.
I think we could probably go here, yeah, or something.
Yeah, and then you bring the
this
rook.
one.
And I think this is winning, right?
It looks winning, yeah, it looks winning. Duck. And takes.
Yeah, so I understood that that's why he didn't want to go h6, because after h6 knight h4, you probably can't go bishop h7 because this bishop takes h6 move. So you've got to play.
Nice.
You've got to go like queen d7 or something, or give up the bishop pair.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he went rook e8 instead.
Yeah, and apparently I should have gone knight h4 anyway.
Okay.
So why didn't I go knight h4?
Well, I suppose it's got to have the follow up, really, right? Because I mean, if you just retreat.
Oh, maybe it was after rook e1 knight b4. I should have gone knight
okay.
h4.
Now rook e1 looks because knight b4. Wow, he's definitely going for the unexpected moves.
Yeah, this is one of the things you find. I mean, you probably played a lot of Indian players yourself, Matthew, over the years. They're very good tactically.
They're always, I mean, the thing about playing Indian players in the old day was that you said, well, I could definitely get tricked, but I know that I'm going to get a great position out of the opening. So hopefully that'll insulate me. Only now that whole factor's been taken away, and they're both very good tactically and very good in the opening as well. So
yeah, that's quite scary. Yeah.
But, I mean, when you used to play the French players, you always thought, oh, they're quite brilliant, but they're gonna leave a piece hanging somewhere. It was you had all those things. I mean, nowadays, they're just all.
Mine was when I played Eastern European players. I'd really try to finish the game off in the middle game rather than getting into the end game, because they'd know the technique much better.
I mean, we're having this debate. I don't know, it might seem a bit racist, but I was having this debate with Rene Butler, and he was saying he thinks Indian players, maybe they're just Indian people genetically more intelligent, because they seem to be very good at chess. But is it because they're spending X amount of hours? Occasionally I get these emails from these Indian parents saying, my son is spending 10 to 12 hours a day studying chess.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you suggest? And I'm like, well, if he's spending 10 to 12 hours studying chess, he probably doesn't need a chess coach, right?
Yeah.
He could coach me, actually. Yeah. So I think in general, you could look at somebody and think, well, they're very talented, but at the same time, is that 6-year-old boy actually looking talented because he's actually spending a lot more hours than, his kids of the same age who possibly aren't spending the same amount of hours? That's why he looks much more naturally gifted than the other kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got off on a bit of a tangent, but I went.
No worry.
Yeah.
So knight h4. Yeah, I mean, this is he's really he's taking a lot of risks with his pieces, isn't he? He just keeps it together with a queen d7, and I like this move very much. You keep on sidestepping his knight somehow all the time. So knight e4, you went knight d5, and knight b4, you go knight e3. I thought this was really nice.
Yeah, I was starting to become worried about like a knight takes f2 tactic here.
Ooh.
But I don't think it quite works, because you just take on f2, and a knight d3 you could just come back.
Yeah, I mean, you're attacking this one as well, aren't you? So it's. Yeah, he'd need something really spectacular if this was ever going to work, I think. I don't think.
But this is typical when you play Indian players, that they're very good at finding unexpected tactics.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, isn't it? It's
you've got to be careful about that.
But I guess something like knight e1, we could probably even just take here, couldn't we? Because knight g2, we've got queen g4, I think.
Yeah, winning material. Yeah, winning the queen.
Yeah, because bishop f8, or whatever he does. Actually, we've got knight h6. So it's. It's always the same, isn't it? I mean, when you look at the variation, especially when you look at it on the engine screen, it says, "Oh, yeah, that's so easy." But when you're looking at it at the board, it's always a lot more stressful just to work it out. The amount of time you spend checking stuff that's not very good, basically, but just because it looks scary is, I think it's always underestimated by people. So bishop h3 played. and bishop b2. So, I mean, actually, you've managed to get yourself into a gorgeous position, and these knights are really, they're loose, aren't they? You could really imagine one of them dropping off somehow.
Absolutely. Although I was a little bit worried when he after he took that there might be a queen c6, but I guess you could just block that off with d5 anyway.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you've got your trumps as well, haven't you? So it's looking really good. That knight on e3 is a monster, actually, isn't it? It's really just controls and supports. Really good piece.
Yeah, he went rook a8. And actually, after rook a8, my next move was my favorite move of the game because I was looking at a game earlier in the tournament, and there was a move where he had his knight at c6, and I should have gone a3 like Karpov style, prophylactic.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, this is how you improve at chess. You become more strategic and you understand like how to stop their threats, right?
Yeah.
But I thought, well, actually, that knight at b4 is already in an active position. I really need to get rid of that knight and take the time out. Just take a move just to get rid of that knight and kick that knight away.
Yeah. And this is really dangerous. I mean, all of a sudden, just your pieces are really starting to come together, aren't they? And this one's really loose as well. This one, it's definitely a bit of a worrying piece. So he went back, and actually, it's quite funny because in sort of like for 4 or 5 moves, he kept on coming forwards, and now he's just gone all the way back somehow. So
I think actually maybe d5 here was the best move, or it was some move.
It looks tempting, doesn't it?
Looks strong, but I like your move too, I have to say. I mean, nothing wrong with activating a piece like that. And
hang on. Sorry, this was a moment where. So if you go back a move, Matthew.
Oh, right.
There was something much after knight f6. There was something much stronger. I remember checking this later, and again, it was something that you could probably find without the engine, but I think the engine was pointing it out. Knight ef5. So after knight ef5, knight f6, there's a stronger move than queen f3. Maybe d5 is also strong, but there's something like once you see it, it looks really obvious.
I can see a note in your annotations.
No, that was on move 19.
Move 19, c5.
No.
There's something
strong here.
I'm
assuming you can't take on g7.
Well, I thought about that, but I didn't really see a really obvious follow-up.
Yeah.
I mean, is it something like maybe queen d2 or something?
That was it. Yeah. You still got it.
Is that so strong? Yeah. I mean, I hadn't realized.
As soon as I saw it in the analysis, I'm like, why did I even consider that move? It's like I'm going queen f3 way too quickly. And if I'd thought about the move, actually queen d2 is really obvious, because you're threatening queen g5, and it's just really.
I guess if he comes,
yeah, that's critical, right? But I think for some reason, when the queen goes to c2 and then you go back, you're somehow then winning, which I don't.
Oh God, it's going to be one of those. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? And then you've probably got maybe c5 and d5 or d5 and then something. Yeah,
exactly. It's something. Yeah, something because your queen is much better on c2 and you've connected the rooks.
Yeah.
Queen f3 does look very natural, doesn't it? I mean,
queen f3 looks like a really good move. I mean, those are the things that engines always find obviously really well, but they're always tough in practical games because you've got so many things to consider. Like you sort of say, well, maybe he doesn't have to go back. He's got other things, and a move like queen f3 is so simple. I think it's I can imagine Mickey just playing it immediately, queen f3, and very Mickey moves.
Absolutely, natural
move. Good piece. Connect the rooks, attack, and just leave it to the opponent to worry about how good it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So he took here, and this is about where your score of the game ends, is it, Danny?
Yeah, sadly, my memory is because so what actually tends to happen in these tournaments is the top 20 boards get broadcast, right?
Oh yeah.
And unless somebody gets a norm, the organisers don't have to upload the PGNs, as far as I'm aware, right? So if somebody gets a norm, they have to upload the PGNs of that person who got a norm, for example, maybe. Or in an all-play-all event, they have to upload all the PGNs if somebody makes a norm, right? But if they don't make a norm, they don't have to upload the PGNs. So what tends to happen in these tournaments is a lot of the PGNs get lost. Now, I did save the score sheets of a lot of the games from these two tournaments, but I couldn't find this one when I looked for it earlier. So I did remember it at the time, but then because it's like a few weeks after the game, I think what happened here is I took on E8 and the game continued from here. But actually, that was a mistake. There was something stronger than taking on E8.
Have you got knight h6 here? Or is
that was the move. Knight h6. And then if they go...
I mean, if they
take... Yeah.
You're just going to take there, aren't you, I think? And
then go knight f5, right?
Knight f5, because you're threatening mate. And if here now, you can come here.
Well, they got knight e5, right?
Yeah, you've still got knight e5. I mean, it's not... I guess this is probably...
Very good, yeah.
I guess this is very good. I mean, a lot of weak pawns everywhere, and the king's very weak. Bishop's passive.
Yeah, it was knight h6, but after knight h6 they go king f8, right? Because for some reason they can't go king h8. So it's quite important that the king goes to f8, and now you play just simply rook d1. So this is quite, again, like you were saying, this is quite hard to actually find this in an over the board game, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I need to keep the rooks on rather than the natural inclination is just to exchange rooks, right?
You're going to play c5 and d5. I think that's looking quite powerful.
And they can never take on h6 because they're just going to collapse.
Yeah.
So that was a very nice build-up of an attack there.
Yeah, it's a nice build-up actually. It has to be said. It's I like this.
Knights all the way over to the Kingside.
I like this e3 very much. I think when we saw a game of Stanley's. I think Stanley either took or went bishop b2. Actually, I think that's and he got I think that's right. I think I'm not going to be slandering Stanley if I say that he got this position. It was at the London replay, and he took on f6 here, and it wasn't queen f6 because of knight e4. You know, it was one of those little tricks. But I like I do prefer e3 actually. I think e3 is a really nice move.
Yeah, I mean the Bali Benidorm tournament in general is quite a nice tournament because you stay in like a massive tower block. You know, the Bali Benidorm Hotel, which is, it's quite a nice hotel. It's like off season, so you don't get as many tourists that time of the year as well.
Yeah, it's still good weather, isn't it? Just at that time of year as well. So
absolutely. Like last night when I was coming back from a rapid play in Hull, and it was like minus where I live in Alec.
Cold at the moment, isn't it?
It was -3, and it was apparently the wind chill made it feel like -11.
Oh God!
So I thought, that's a bit of a contrast. But,
yeah. I played Benidorm back in 1990, all those years ago. But it was it was a strong.
How did you do?
I didn't do that well. I was I was still an IM at the time. I think I got 6 out of 9. I seem to remember. But there are a lot. I mean, it was all the good old players there. Jules was there, Julian Hodgson, Joe Gallagher, Peter Wells. It was nice times. It was really good. Enjoyed it a lot. The tournament. It was lovely weather and everything as well.
Was that during the summer?
No, that was sort of off peak. Probably I think April time. I think something like that.
So a bit warmer. Yeah.
Let's have a look. So the other game, was this from Sitges?
So this was the last round of Sitges. It's quite a sad story actually because immediately after this game I spoke to a friend of mine called Shard, and he informed me that Jonathan Hawkins had passed away. And we'd set up the GoFundMe for Jonathan. Which obviously very sad news. So that day was but that was after the
You were
game.
very close to him, Danny.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. I mean, Keith Arkle as well. Jonathan lived in Torbay. So he moved to Torbay. I think he initially moved out to London to do coaching with his girlfriend, Angela.
Yeah, I know Angela,
Yeah, then he moved to Torbay. And obviously he's very good friends with Keith. Yeah, so Keith was there as well. So it's kind of like a moment where we were sitting in a cafe and we were like, well, this makes you realise how short life is, because you should enjoy it while it lasts. Because, it's like, is like one of us, and he's just passed away.
Yeah, exactly. It's but how did you do at Citrus, Danny?
Yeah, well, I didn't do that great. I mean, I did okay, but I was just like drawing too many games. Like I said before, like when I was white, I was probably okay, but when I was black, I was just like I wasn't winning any games. Right? I don't think I won a single game with black, either Benidorm or Citrus. I think I only lost one game in those two tournaments, but Keith Arkle, I was sharing an apartment with. He took a few buys. But he did well for the games that he played. But the guy I played in this round, in the final round, I don't think he was actually 23-4 actually when this game was played, but I was just found the game earlier with a score sheet. But he was friends with the other guy, Pranav, that I played in. And I also played this guy in Benidorm as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. So they're like genuinely good players. They're obviously like some of the better Indian juniors, right?
Yeah. It's I mean the opening was pretty interesting, right? I mean the d4, d5, c4, e6, knight f3, knight f6. You played knight c3 this time, and he hit you with h6.
Yeah, which reminded me of a game maybe Gukesh had in the last candidates, which he won.
Yeah,
it's possible that he went h6 in that tournament. I'm not sure. Your memory's probably better than mine, Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so, again, it's one of those moves that, if you'd played this when I was a professional, you'd have said, weak player, just no need to take him seriously. It's just, I have to say that all my instincts nowadays about, modern play and what shows a strong player and what doesn't, it's, you've got to know the openings, because otherwise you'll just think that people are just doing, total rubbish at times. But
absolutely, yeah. It's I think the main line here is well, partly h6 is to avoid theory, but I wasn't really preparing that well in these tournaments because I didn't have my laptop with me. The reason I didn't bring my laptop was because we stayed in the apartment in Sitges, and there was a famous story about a couple of years ago where a lot of these Indian players got robbed.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, I can't afford to lose my laptop. That's like my life. That's like my life savings gone into that, right? It's where I do all my writing or my EO writing. So, yeah, I wasn't really preparing very well. I was just preparing on a tablet, which, to be honest, is not great because you're having to Google people, and then you look at sites like Chess Tempo, and then you briefly look at their games. And the games start quite late as well, of course, with these Spanish tournaments. The games start like 4:30 in the afternoon. Although this was an exception because it was the last round, so we started about 10 o'clock in the morning. And then actually, sorry to go on a long ramble, but after the tournament, what tends to happen is have a blitz playoff.
Yes.
Yeah. And I went outside to watch like the first couple of games, and there were like 4 people playing. And I thought, well, this is the final, right? This is like the final. And they go, no, this is just like the warm-up act, right? Almost, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I've had enough, right? So I decided to go back inside the bar. But yeah, I played this kid who's obviously quite a promising kid, and he went h6. So I decided, right, I'll do my normal wet stuff with e3.
But it's not certainly not bad. I mean, you're just going to try and prove that h6 is a half-wasted move. So he plays a6 as well. Okay, that's more normal somehow. But
so maybe b3 here, Matthew.
Yeah, I like b3. Yeah, just to try and claim that these moves are more useful than h6 and a6, which is probably sort of true. It feels like you should be doing something, especially against h6. But I mean,
I think actually against h6, the main. Sorry to go back a couple of moves, but I think the main line is to take on d5 and go bishop f4, right?
Yeah. But then they get bishop d6 in, don't they? In one go, I think that's the. It's just crazy, really. It's just somehow this sort of waiting for you to do something. It gives them a decent plan somehow. It's. I mean, in the good old days.
What do you do after bishop d6? Sorry.
I don't know. I'm not sure really. I mean, you can take on d6, but or you can go bishop g3, but I mean, I think there's plenty of theory on that. I mean, the good old days, you played, you said that h6 was always a weakness because you played the knight to e5 and g6 was weak, but that's not concrete enough nowadays. It's you have to prove it somehow, and just turns out to be difficult to prove. So, but you played Bishop D3. We get some sort of Queen's Gambit accepted, or don't we? I mean, it's where actually Black's kind of got the extra move H6, I suppose.
Sure.
Actually, whether that's a good thing or not, it's not 100% clear. It does weaken the Kingside. So Bishop E7.
Yeah, I think Bishop E7. I was slightly surprised me. I was expecting him to play maybe C5, more dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be quite normal. I mean, this would be pretty much a Queen's Gambit accepted, where Black's got the extra move H6. This is the old main line. White plays D5 and all of that. So it's I wonder. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Well, I think H6 mostly would be useful, but you never quite know.
Well, there is some weird line where White goes D5 and goes Knight G5. I remember that being. But at least you
that's right.
That line out.
Wait, mate, you can do it. You can do it actually. D5 takes E4 like that.
That's right, and then they go Knight G5 in some lines, right? I think
that's right. And here you've protected against that. So I don't know. It's
bit obscure.
It's all a bit obscure, but I mean, the Indian players, they like playing these delayed C5s, because I mean, Gukesh has done a lot of Bishop E7 and A6 and Bishop E7 without playing C5 in the QGA. Accepted. Okay. So they're probably a little bit inspired by that, I think.
I'm sure they'll worship people like Gukesh, which makes sense, right?
Oh God, yeah.
He's wonderful. I do too.
He's a pretty cool guy. You got to say.
I really like. Yeah, so young. Obviously, I'm biased because I did a chessable course on him, but I really like. Yeah, he's so.
He's pretty cool, must be said.
He just doesn't get scared of anything.
Yeah. He's also got quite an interesting style. It's quite dynamic and like aggressive. Compared to a lot of top chess players who are a bit more like Magnus. They're quite technical. Yeah, I think Prag is more technical. Sorry,
yeah, Prag's more technical. Yeah, I mean, Gukesh's just pretty fearless, really. I mean, he'll, he just sort of goes for a win, just regardless, really, and doesn't really fear the consequences. Which, I mean, I remember feeling like that when I was young, when I was sort of 14 or 15. But somehow, the experience of playing chess and seeing, how easily you can lose games, and you played on for a win, and when you could have taken the draw and then you lost, those sort of things tend to make you more cautious. But with him, he's just gone, straight through and just ignored all that, and
he doesn't have any scar tissue.
It's going to be interesting to see how his style develops over the years, like, because he's like 18 with this very going forward style. But like he pushes pawns a lot in front of his king and kind of gets space there. That's not a new thing. He's been doing that ever since he was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. Like even his first games, he was always pushing these pawns right in front of his king.
I kind of feel like, I mean, I follow a lot of golf. I don't know if you guys follow other sports. But I bet too much on golf. That's one of my worst weaknesses. But I remember, quite a few years ago, there was a player came along called Jordan Spieth, and he won a lot very early on. Like 2015, he was winning loads, and 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. But then he kind of dried up, and he started developing his scar tissue. And I wonder if the same is the case with Gukesh. He's had like great success early on. And then he's going to kind of burn out very quickly and then get overtaken by other Indian players like Pragananda and Eragaisi. That's kind of my take on it, but obviously it remains to be seen.
I mean, it's all. I mean, I always remember for tennis. I always remember Michael Chang. Because he won the French Open when he was like 16, 17. That's right. But I don't think he ever won He never won a major after. He was a really strong player all of his career, but somehow that was the it's possible. It's possible. I'm not sure with I think about Gukesh. He's got such a good temperament. I mean, I think I don't know. I'm not sure, but I mean, the problem is the competition at the top is so tough. It's like. I remember reading about the way that the Chinese, the top table tennis players trained, and like they were, you know, it was like the top 20 players in the world. They're playing against each other every week, and you've just got like a huge tournament. And yeah, the person who comes out at the top, you know, goes to the World Championships or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter if you're world champion already. If you didn't make it to the top of the list, you don't go. You know, it's that sort of enormous competition. I feel it's like that with the Indian players as well. So much. You know, so many talented juniors, so much competition. So,
and the other thing is, like, Gukesh has already been world champion, and some of the other young players, like whether Indian or not Indian, like there's strong players from all sorts of countries at the moment.
Turkey, Iran, I mean,
Turkey, Iran, all sorts of countries. That if you haven't been world champion already, you might be even more motivated to get there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next candidates and the next World Championship, I have to say.
Who do you think will win the candidates?
Oh, I don't know. It's a really tough one. I mean, I think that you know, sort of the top 4, 5 in rating are kind of the big favourites. Fabiano, I always think is going to make it. I'm always surprised when he doesn't. You know, he's such a tough, such a good player.
I'm actually quite sorry to interrupt. I'm quite confident Nakamura is going to win.
You think so?
Yeah, but that's probably one of my many tips that will go astray.
Well, we'll remember that. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I definitely think he'll be there or thereabouts. The thing is, you know, I sort of think that, you know, Hikaru, he's not the same player, you know, when he was young. He's just developed into this really quite, you know, smooth and controlled player, you know, and I think he'll make his +3 or, you know, or +4 maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether that'll be, maybe that might just be run a little bit short. That's what I'm thinking, you know, that somebody will just flame through and you know, and just win one more game somehow. That's what
I really like Nakamura, and I think he'll do well, but I think a youngster's going to win it again.
It could be. I mean, yeah, Sindarov is a bit of a dark horse. I think he's pretty. He's looking quite good. But I mean, maybe I mean, I think Anisha's could possibly. You know,
Abdusattorov in it. Like he did.
No.
He's not in it. He's not in it.
No, he's not in it. Yeah, that's the slight shame somehow. You know, Abdusattorov and Erigasi didn't make it. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, they're always great tournaments, the candidates. I mean, it's always going to be going to be soon.
When is that? Sorry,
it's April, isn't it? I think. Yeah, I think it's April. In where is it? In Malta or Cyprus, something like that.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah, no, it should be good. Should be good fun. But back to the game, we're taking on C5.
Yeah, I actually thought he might go knight BD7 there because
B4 A5. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this, right?
Yeah.
So I was quite happy to see Bishop takes, because I play these kind of positions a lot as white, and I very rarely get an advantage and often get a worse position. And this was like one of the few times where I've actually got a better position, or it felt like I went E4.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Bishops had to take twice and come here, and it's not necessarily the best square. You know, a knight would be so much better there. That so E4, Queen C7, interesting, and E5. Yeah, I mean that's incredibly natural, and knight FD7.
Well, this is one moment where I regretted my decision later. And there was another move that I was considering playing that I didn't play. And I think this is one of the things I noticed in my chess, guys, is that I tend to be lacking patience sometimes, and I'm trying to like win the game too quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a moment where I feel like it could have just, you know, sometimes you just got to develop, you know, let the game develop and see how it goes, and don't try to push too much.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about just going Bishop F4 here, and I think if I'd gone Bishop F4, I quite possibly would have won the game, because it's actually very difficult for Black to find a good move now, really.
Yeah, I mean it's always more tricky, isn't it? I mean, when you're not forcing the game, you give the opponent plenty of chances to think for himself and find the mistakes, you know. And when you're playing forcingly all the time, you tend to push them, whether they want to or not, a bit in the right direction. I've often had that, I have to say. It's because it's not so easy. I mean, knight C6, you've just got Queen E4 here, I guess.
Well, then G6 maybe. So bishop H6
Jeez.
is knight takes E5.
Ah, he's going to take on there. Right.
But maybe after knight C6, you just put the rook on. Like I was thinking, maybe you
Yeah,
can
rook
put
C.
or the other rook on D or C1. Yeah, exactly. C1 or rook FD1. Probably rook AD1.
Yeah, rook FD1's very nice. Just control the D4
Mm.
square. Might get knight E4 in as well.
Absolutely. It
It
just
does
looked
look
very
nice,
simple.
doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, it
Mm.
does look nice. It has to be said. It's
Yeah, so I think I should have gone bishop F4, but Queen D3 was a little bit impatient, but still gives white an advantage.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely feeling loose for black. He has to go F5 to cover this. So you take and knight takes F6.
Yeah, and I was thinking about just going Queen E2 here, Matthew, and just, but it's a little bit. But Queen E2 maybe can take on F3 and go knight C6, so that might be a little bit on the slow side.
Okay. Well, I suppose. I mean, could he? He couldn't just go. I mean, if knight BD7, you're going to have some knight H4, are you? You're going to.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a nice tactic: knight E5, Queen E5, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, clever.
Queen takes E5, knight G6 check. It's always. I mean, you do often see these positions in the semi-Slav, and somehow
Sure.
black sacrifices a pawn and just ends up with huge compensation. I've had many difficult experiences with white like that. So, but bishop C6 is interesting, actually. I have to say, takes knight C6, just getting that D4 square.
Yeah, maybe, but obviously the structure's still not that great for black, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So,
Got the two bishops. Yeah, as long as you can
yeah,
cover your kingside, but probably you can do that. Okay.
it should be better here as white, I would have thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I probably should, but I went bishop E3, which obviously is a loss of tempo, but it does threaten the pawn.
Yeah.
So he went knight C6, and this is after. Yeah, again, a problem that I have with the analysis is sometimes I don't go deep enough into a line, right? So one move that attracted me here was Queen F5.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I calculate a line like Queen F5, and then they go. What was I worried about after Queen F5? Was knight D4 possibly. Yeah, but that's just good for white, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. King H8. I was just wondering whether there was.
Oh no, but you got a bit. Yeah, maybe instead of instead of Queen takes E6, Bishop F4. That was what I was thinking, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's clever.
Mm.
What is that, Natasha?
That is a Zwischenzug.
Yeah.
Exactly. Getting a bit of marketing in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a nice move, though. Just strengthening the position before taking the pawn on E6. That's very nice.
Oh, but then they go King H8. This was a line I wasn't sure about.
Oh,
So King H8,
okay.
right? And then after Bishop takes C7, E takes F5. I think the engine gives white an advantage, but so I got to this line in my calculations, but I wasn't sure like how good it was.
Yeah. And you could play Queen F6. They can play Queen F4, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's quite cunning, that one, actually, isn't it? Queen F6, Queen F4.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty
Yeah,
nasty.
I saw that. Yeah, and if you take on F4 and Rook F4 92, they can go Rook H4 or something. They should have a move anyway.
Yeah, they get it, keep it together. Yeah.
Or Rook G4. Rook G4, sorry.
Rook
H3,
G4,
Rook
I think,
H.
is the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Queen
or Rook
F6, Queen
E4.
F4.
Yeah.
Takes, knight E2, Rook G4 here is fine. Yeah, Rook E4 as well probably is quite decent.
E4, yeah.
I mean, you can win a pawn, but it's your compensation is going to be huge. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's quite complicated. But Queen F5 felt like, when you instinctively feel like that's the right move, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking Queen F5. I need to trust my instincts more, but I think I took on E6 right here.
Yeah, but it looks like you played knight H4 as well. Looks like you're getting some. Looks like you're getting somewhere, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I was quite impressed how well he defended, actually, because after knight E7, I went Queen H3, and I was quite happy with my position because I thought, got ideas. But he played quite, I think the top move, like knight H5, the most difficult move to refute. So the position now is extremely complicated. There's lots of candidate moves, like knight F5 might be a move, or bishop E3, or he's threatening knight F4.
Yeah, knight F5, bishop E3. Yeah, knight f4 is a little bit irritating. You'd really like to
Mm.
get ahead of that somehow, but it's that's why you played knight e2.
I think that was a mistake. That was a blunder. It felt wrong actually because the knight's already on a good square, right?
Yeah.
I actually thought about knight d5 here, but there was something wrong with knight d5 with the idea that if he takes on d5, you go knight. Let's say you go knight d5, you go knight g6, knight f8,
Knight
and
g6.
knight, and then knight take, and then you take the yeah, exactly. But the problem is they can go. I think after knight d5, I think they could go, for example, even something like bishop d5, bishop d5, bishop f2 is possible.
Yeah. There's going to be some tricks, aren't there?
Yeah, or rook f2 maybe. Rook f2, I think actually that was the problem.
Okay,
rook
f2.
More forcing, because after rook takes, bishop takes. If you take on f2, they have queen c5 check.
Yeah.
And this didn't look very good for white.
It looks a bit rough, doesn't it? Really.
I didn't like this. So yeah, it feels like you shouldn't have to find a move as clever as knight d5 here, right?
Yeah. It feels like you've.
I'm not sure what white should play here, but anyway, I made a mistake. Knight e2 was a blunder, and then he fought. Sort of like he fought for a while. He kind of, I think he made a kind of an expression after knight e2, like what the heck is that, right? Deepening contempt. So rook takes f2, of course, very typical Indian tactic. Rook takes queen b6, great move.
God, yeah, you can't, hard to cover.
Yeah, so originally here I wanted to go bishop g5.
Ooh.
But I think that actually loses because then he takes on f2, king h1, and then he simply takes on h4, and I'm in big trouble. Because if queen takes, he's got queen e6, for example, amongst other moves.
Yeah. This one's going as well. Yeah.
A very weak position for me here. So if I instead of queen takes, if I take with a bishop, then he can play knight g6.
Yeah, he's got some threats. Yeah.
The computer already says it's completely winning for black.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, your bishop, you're sort of stretched all over the place, aren't you, with the bishop on e6 and everything like that? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I made a misassessment of the position because even when he went knight e5, I thought I must be much better. I'm a pawn up, his king's weak. But yeah, I think it's just a misassessment of the position, really. So, like you say, you probably got experience in these kind of Slav lines, so you'd probably understand the position a little bit better than I would. And you would maybe sense the danger a bit more. But after king h1, I thought I played a great move, knight f3. But now after knight f3, what would you play here as black? Because I think you made a mistake here. Actually,
let's have a look. Well, I mean, rook d8 that was played looks pretty decent, I have to say. I mean, it's going to be rook d8, rook f8, maybe knight g6. I'm not sure.
Yeah, rook f8 because it's a very nice line. So later on, I went back to the apartment and was chatting to Keith, and I got the chessboard out, which I brought in Benidorm. So I'd actually bought a chess, like a physical chess set.
Oh, nice.
To analyze on, right? Because like I say, I'm trying to get back to the whole spirit of analyzing positions rather than just lazily stick it on the computer and let the engine do all the work for you. So we were looking at this line, we were saying, why is the computer saying rook f8 is the best move, right? What's the idea, say, if they go bishop g5? But there's a beautiful idea associated with this, which is to do with a theme of overloading. So that probably,
oh God, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea.
So, well, I mean, maybe people can pause the video and try and work it out for themselves. But yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Rook f3.
Yeah.
Takes, and now
a queen takes.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous little
mate. It's a lovely mate, isn't it?
That is a lovely mate. Yeah. Really economical as well, isn't it? It's incredible.
So I think if you'd seen this variation, you would have to play rook f8. In fact, you would just you'd get so excited you would just play rook f8
Even if it worked
immediately, right? Because you'd be like, well, I've got this beautiful queen set lined up, guys. You know, but I think he just didn't see it, and he went like rook d8, which is not as good because now went bishop g5.
Ah, that's nasty.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying. Now he has to defend quite well, but again, like he defended pretty well. He took on f3, which is probably a reasonable move. And now, after took back the pawn, because I can't really take back the queen because he's hitting e6.
You've got to protect your bishop still.
Yeah,
and then queen c5.
That was a great move, actually.
It's a very good move, isn't it?
Yeah, because now I can't. I would like to play a move like f4, but that's too loosening. He's going to have problems with my king after queen c6.
Yeah, queen c6.
Yeah. So therefore, really, I didn't see an alternative other than to take on h5.
Yeah.
But now it boils down to an ending where probably black is slightly better due to the better pawn structure. In fact, very nearly lost it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean his bishop's going to find found a good square there, didn't it? On but you defended this very you defended this very.
I didn't actually.
Oh really?
No.
Oh.
It's often what happens when you. I was tilting a bit about this point because I'm like, well, I was better earlier, and now I wish I'd gone bishop f4. I'm still thinking about move 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
I went bishop b3, but I still felt. I think actually after bishop f4, he offered me a draw, but I'm I said to myself, you're taking too many draws. You're drawing like. I think they had a rule actually at Sitages where you're not allowed to draw before move 30 anyway.
Okay.
But obviously, we're past move 30 at this point. So actually, yeah, he offered me a draw at move 30. So, but yeah, I think I don't know. What would you do here, Matthew? Like, say if you're playing like a 2350, 2400 player, and after you're drawing, you think you're slightly worse. Would you play on, or would you just ball it out?
I think it would depend. It would depend. I think I've made both decisions. Carrying on and but this is I certainly it wouldn't be one where I'd say, oh, I'd never take a draw. I mean, I might consider it, because it's looking pretty dead, right? I mean, you play rook e2, he can go, he could really force draws if he wants to, I think, So I don't think maybe thinking, oh, I could play knight e4, maybe keep him out, maybe play a few more moves. If I was ahead on time, might think about it.
Yeah, that was what I was actually ahead on the clock here, so that was partly my decision. Yeah,
I mean, you might think, maybe for a couple of moves, his king's maybe a little bit weak. I might be able to make some chances, but
but once he consolidates, I really, I've got less than nothing.
No, I don't think taking a draw would be a wrong decision either. And I definitely think that it's something. If I was feeling good, or if I had a big time advantage, or whatever, or if he was looking a bit flustered or whatever, I might think, oh, well, just give it a bit more of a go. But you do have to be careful because I mean, he moves his bishop, he gets his knight into f4, and all of a sudden you're not feeling so happy anymore, So
sure. Yeah. So I went bishop b3, and then at some point I got into a little bit of trouble because knight d5, knight d4. I think this is where I went slightly wrong because I probably should not do what I did. But I took on f4 and went rook e4. I don't think I should take on f4, but because now he can go g5, and I saw this line that after g5, if you go h4, he can go knight f5.
Oh, that's nasty.
That is a nasty one. Yeah.
Yeah, with the idea, obviously, that if you take on g5, he has knight g3, winning the exchange.
Yeah, that is nasty.
So, yeah, I was concerned about that, but fortunately, I think he was kind of in that mode of just trying to make certain that he just got the draw.
Yeah.
So he took on b3, and then And now I've just got to be slightly accurate in this ending. I went rookie 8. I think now it is very drawish.
Yeah, it's good to go. Yeah, I mean, you just make sure that that everything's. Yeah, I mean that's going to be fine.
I think just the only move on move 42 that you have to be slightly accurate, because if you take on f4 immediately instead of rook b6,
he'll go rook h6.
Yeah,
yeah,
which
it's a little
maybe
bit
that's
annoying.
Still a draw, but it's
annoying. That's definitely annoying, that one. Yeah, you don't want to allow that.
Yeah,
that's after rook b6 though, it's pretty good. That was a really interesting game. It was a really there's lots of nice tactics in there, but yeah, I think you're right. I think probably if you just kept it a little just a little quieter, just for a couple more moves, I think you could have you probably could have done something really good.
That was something I was trying to do at Hastings as well. I remember one round I was playing against like an older player. I think it was one of the afternoon games, right? And I'd say, like, I'm just going to try and develop. I'm not going to try and beat the guy immediately. Just develop your pieces. At some point later in the game, something will happen, because I think even for strong players, you can often get into this mindset of trying to do too much on every single move, right?
Yeah.
So you become like I think Jacob Agard, I was watching his podcast he was doing recently, and he was talking about how, you have these logical players. And he was even working with like some guy who was like 2600 maybe or something like that. But he was like a logical player. It's like everything's like a reaction. They go there, I go there. They go there, I go there. Rather than trying to just, let the position build up. Karpov style, be super patient, and then at some point you strike later in the game. So it's finding that balance, which is, I think, quite tricky.
Yeah. No, I do find if I'm out of form, then I do try and tend to force the games, and then what you notice is that you have plenty of opportunities just to play a move, and it would have given them 2 or 3 chances to go wrong, but instead you keep on forcing the game, and then you force them to play just one good move, basically, which you're kind of pushing them towards anyway, and it makes a big difference. It really it can really make a big difference.
Sure, yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard, yeah. I mean, sometimes you've got to play with power, and you've got to just push people aside. The position asks for it, but yeah, that balance is always tricky to get.
So, Danny, when's your next chess? What's coming up for you?
Well, Natasha, obviously this is a year where I tend to become a senior player, right?
Oh, lovely. Are you gonna play some seniors chess?
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I'm like, I don't really like seniors chess in a way, because I just feel that it's almost like a separate category. You almost I mean, the problem when you play a lot of these tournaments now, like this tournament I played here, is you're playing against a lot of younger kids, and you're often giving them like 30, 40 years, almost, right? And obviously the older you get, the more that becomes apparent. So I can understand the attraction of playing seniors chess, because you're playing.
Maybe you should do it in moderation as part of a
balanced diet. Everything in moderation, right? But yeah, I mean, a lot of senior chess are quite nice. You're playing in nice hotels. You're obviously you're there with people of your own type of people. Same age. But yeah, I feel like this year I'm going to try and play in I think Isle of Wight, which is in February.
Oh yes,
which is run by David is helping to organise that, and
looks like it's going to be a really strong tournament and a nice one too. So encourage any viewers to think about playing there.
Yeah, I feel like I need to get my classical rating back up, because I mean I've fallen to a level now. But the problem is, as we discussed earlier, when you're an active player and you're an older player, it's very likely you're going to lose points. The players who aren't losing are potentially inactive players, right? So I do feel that it's quite difficult to keep your rating above a certain level. If you play a lot. So obviously
Yeah,
I'm not the
I
only
solved that one
one.
by not noticing whatever my rating is at all.
Yeah.
Saves
Yeah.
a whole load of stress.
But at some point you just realise the whole rating thing doesn't matter, because the ratings are silly. Like I say, there's 2100s who are calculating ridiculously well, and you know, well, this doesn't make any sense, right? This guy's like stronger than most IMs. You know, he's strong. Seems to be as good as most GMs, and yet he's 2170. This doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different era that we're living in now, and you just have to embrace it. And so whether I'll get so fed up of playing in these you know, obviously I do think about maybe, you know, getting away from chess, but you know, it's difficult to, obviously once you reach a certain age, it's difficult to kind of find a new career.
Sure.
You know, because the money situation isn't necessarily getting any better for me. So yeah, at some point,
yeah,
you know.
And you still do chess coaching?
I don't do much chess coaching. I mean, I coach a local school, and you know, they're nice kids, but I'm only getting £20 for that. But I do a little bit of online coaching. But I find with online people, you know, you do like one lesson or whatever, and then you kind of, do you know what I mean? A lot of people, they just move on very quickly.
Yeah.
Or you might do a few lessons. Yeah, exactly. You might do a few lessons with them, but then they're sort of like, you know, unless you have, I don't really have like a set organized schedule where like, this is how you need to improve, you know, and I think you have to invest a lot of time in that. And if I'm sort of writing books and stuff, then I don't necessarily have the time to invest in trying to get people better, right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem, yeah. And also, like when you're playing at tournaments, if you're playing at tournaments a lot, then obviously you don't have the time to really, or you don't have the inclination.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy playing. Takes a hell of a lot of energy. So
absolutely, and stress as well. I just get very stressed, you know. Like I'm like, as soon as the tournament starts, I'm like, I can't wait for it to finish. You know, I spend months looking forward to these tournaments, and then as soon as they start, like, oh, when's this going to finish? You know, so I can just go home and watch the Netflix, right? You know, it's like, well, no, but no, I do enjoy it. I enjoy traveling around. You get to see different places. Obviously, you know, I played a lot in Spain now. Beautiful country. I'm probably playing Alicante in April.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is last year I played Ivanchuk, so that was a good experience.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So a lot of these tournaments are organized by the same woman, Patricia Aguilera.
Okay.
And she organizes a lot of these tournaments. She runs these tournaments like an iron rod, right?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, have you? How about you, Matthew? You thought about having a bit of another comeback, or you?
Not sure really. I mean, I keep on waiting for my job contract to end so that I might think about playing again. But somehow, yeah, just it just keeps on getting renewed for the moment. So yeah, work's quite busy. But yeah, no, I've always had a bit of a mixed relationship with playing. You know. I mean, I love chess. I love looking at chess, but playing it really does vary wildly with me whether I enjoy it or not. So
it can be quite stressful, right?
It can be stressful. And I always found that, you know, it just cost me. You feel that some players, you know, are very sort of naturally competitive, and they can just bring up that competitive spirit, you know, without it really costing them energy. You know, Magnus, of course, is, you know, that sort of example. And for me, it cost me a lot of energy just to be competitive, to be concentrating every move, to try and make every move count. You know, always felt it cost me, you know, relatively more energy than some other guys. So yeah, you know, I always find it's a big investment of energy and time to play. So just has to be worth it somehow. But I mean, I was playing very happily until COVID, and then COVID sort of came along, and my life got filled with all sorts of other different stuff, and then somehow I never reclaimed that time for actually playing chess. You know, so I think I would. If COVID hadn't happened, I'd probably still be playing.
But I think your inactive rating is 2697, right?
So yeah, 94, I think. Yeah.
Oh, 94.
Like that. Yeah.
So you could win like 2 games against me and get 2700. You know.
Yeah.
Beat me 3-0. Beat me 3-0, and then. But no, I think but I do think if you play a lot now as an older player, it's probably more like your rating's going to come down, to be honest, because
Yeah.
well,
unless you play seniors, and then it can.
but it's like there's a lot of deflation in the system when you're playing against. Maybe he got annoyed about my comments about his rating going down.
Yeah. Can we let him back in? Let's let him back in.
Yeah.
Can we let you back in? Alrighty, we've got to wind up there. We've done a very mega episode of Talented Tuesday. So, Danny, thank you ever so much for being on the show.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks so much. Thanks a lot, guys.
Saying a bit more about life as a professional chess player. Okay, I've been Natasha Regan.
I've been Matthew Sadler.
I've been Danny Gormally.
Thank you all very much for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.